What's up, New York Mets Nation? Welcome to the Bat Cave. I'm your host, the BatFrie, Kenny Frie, and we're kicking this off banging. Of course, I played the wrong intro. I didn't play the Bat Cave intro. I played the Part Time Marks intro, and so be sure to check out the Part Time Marks every Tuesday night, 10:30 p.m. here on Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. That's what we do. We promote other people, all of our other shows here on the network. And that's just what I was doing. I didn't forget. I was just promoting the part-time marks. So we kick a hump day off with a bang here with me playing the wrong opening. So yeah, well, it is what it is. So before I get into some Mets talk here, I want to kick the show off, letting you guys know today's show is brought to you by Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. You reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and falls, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. Plenty of personal injury claims with the Mets right now. So just to let them know that he has 3 office locations conveniently located throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. His office in the Garden State of New Jersey is located in Cherry Hill on 3 Greensward Lane. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. And he has 2, count them, 2 offices in the Keystone State of Pennsylvania. One on the west side and one on the east side. The one on the east side is located in Philadelphia on 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. The phone number there is 267-888-2980. And his office on the west side of Pennsylvania is located in Pittsburgh on 500 Grand Street, Suite 2900. The phone number there is 412-365-8151. That's Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. Be sure to let him know you're a part of the Out of the Box Sports family, and I'll hook you up with a great deal. So check him out. All right, we're back, baby. Hope everybody's doing well. You know what day it is. Of course, it is Hump Day. Yes, it is. Whoop whoop. All right. So we got a little bit to get to here. Spring training games already started. Fantastic, great. I'm super excited. Baseball is back. I'm not a big fan of spring training games because they're always early, and I work night shift, so I miss them all. I caught one so far, and that was what was it? Was it Saturday's game? Um, Shoot, I don't remember what day it was. Whatever day the first game was, I was able to catch some of that. So yeah, that's been it so far for me. All the other games are during the afternoon while I'm asleep. I'm in my slumber. I'm hibernating. So getting my beauty sleep. There it is. So I miss a lot of it. It is what it is. But regular season they have a lot of night games, 7 p.m. games, and usually the afternoon games. I usually can catch the tail end of them, the second half of those games. But spring training games, not that there's a whole lot to see with spring training. There are some players I'd like to see, younger players, but all the veteran players, I just pray to the Lord that they stay healthy, they get their cuts in, they get their fielding in, and get the hell out of the lineup. So that's spring training for me. All right, so first topic we're gonna hit on here is Juan Soto in the Mets' first game of spring training, his first at bat. The man goes yard, so he enters his Met career, the Met portion of his career in a spring training game going yard, and it's good to see. But again, it is spring training, and it's not against top-notch pitching. It's against younger guys or pitchers that are just getting back into the flow again. So you got to kind of temper your excitement a little bit. It's okay to be excited though. I was excited to see it as well as I'm a big I guess skeptic you could say of Juan Soto just because I don't know. I don't think he's worth that kind of money. Is he a top 5 player in the league? Maybe top 10, definitely. But I just don't think he's worth that kind of money. If you say Shohei Otani, I probably feel different. Yeah, okay, Juan Soto gets on base a ton. Did have 40 plus home runs last year. Did have 100 plus RBI last year. Slug through the roof. On base percentage through the roof. I get all that. Um, but I don't know. It's just something about him. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's a me thing. It's not a Juan Soto thing. It probably is just a me thing. So I'll get over it. Once we get to the regular season and he starts doing his thing, and the Mets are winning ball games because he's on base or he's knocking people in or hitting bombs or whatever, I am sure I will be just fine and dandy with Juan Soto. So, got a comment here. Eileen saying, "Boo, Soto, boo." Yeah, and so on yesterday's episode of the Silver and Black Layer LA Kings edition, I happened to bring up a movie. I don't know if that's from the '80s or not. Labyrinth, '80s or early '90s. I don't really remember what year that was released, but I talked a little bit about Labyrinth. And my I don't want to say love for that. No, I love for the movie. I do love that movie. It's a great movie from my childhood, and I did talk about the unfortunate spandex that David Bowie wore that still makes me uncomfortable to this day. But used to drive the ladies crazy. So David Bowie, if he was still with us, you do you, David Bowie, but he is not with us. David Bowie. And but anyway, the whole boo thing I'm getting to is the Princess Bride, right? You remember the Princess Bride? What another great movie. I love that movie. Andre the Giant. And I cannot love a movie that Andre the Giant. You know what I mean? Inconceivable, right? So many great things from that movie. Great one-liners. Just a hilarious movie. Fred Savage, having the story told to him by Matlock, and all stuff like that. I don't know. Was it Matlock or what character did that guy play on a TV show? I don't know if it was Matlock or not. But at the one part where oh shoot, I can't think of her name, but the princess in it, she's marrying the prince, and she's being presented to the crowd, and as being the next wife of the evil prince. Uh, though there's that one old lady, kind of haggardly looking, peasant or whatever, go boo, boo. So that's just what the boo there. Boo Soto made me think of that. And also, of course, Eileen, it will always be whenever I see a boo, I think of Boo Burns. For the Simpsons fans out there, you know, Mr. Burns and Smithers in the town meeting. Burns comes up with an idea how to spend the uh, the windfall of money that the city, the town, city, whatever they are, happened upon, and Mr. Burns. I don't remember what it was, if it was from the oil company or the oil that he was drilling, or I don't remember what it was exactly, where the money came from. But Burns came up with a crazy idea, and people were booing him, and he said, he goes, Smithers, are they booing me? He said, no, they're saying Boo Burns. So, I think it might have been Grandpa. Was it Grandpa Simpson or was it Mole Man? Hans Mole Man that said, I was saying Boo Burns. So good stuff there. Love the Simpsons. You gotta love the Simpsons. Yeah, my daughter asked me recently if the Simpsons are still doing episodes. Say, yeah. She goes, well, how long has it been? She goes, like 20 years. I said, oh no, it's much longer than that. I said, they're into like 34, 35 seasons now. And she asked if I still watch it. And I said, no, not really. Just don't have the time to really watch The Simpsons. It's one of the reasons, probably the main reason why I have Disney Plus. The Simpsons, then the Marvel universe, and then of course I do love a lot of those older Disney movies and whatnot. But anyway, she asked, well, what Simpsons did I watch? And I said basically seasons 1, through 15 or 16, maybe 17, somewhere around there is when I kind of started getting away from it, just because I guess life, it's stuff like that, getting busy with the kids and stuff, and some of it wasn't kid friendly and when they're really little, but now they're old enough where it's not that bad. It's not Family Guy or South Park or anything like that. So So it's not all that bad for kids, but when they're little, I don't want them going around saying "eat my shorts" or "my name is Bart Simpson." Who the hell are you? Or ripping Santa's beard off like they do in the Christmas episode, the very first season. That might have been I don't know if that was the very first Simpsons episode or not, but it was their first Christmas special. So where he rips Homer's beard off, and that's when they introduced Santa's little helper as the family pet. Because he lost they bet I think Homer got $25 for playing Santa or something like that, or maybe it was even less. And they went to the dog track to try to win more money for Christmas, and it just didn't. He lost. And the dog was Santa's little helper, and the Santa's little helper end up chasing him away at the end. Homer and Bart are in the parking lot looking for winning tickets that maybe somebody dropped, and Santa's little helper came running up, and Homer said he's a loser, and he's licking his face, and he goes, "No, he's a Simpson." So that's the story on Santa's little helper, in case you were wondering. Anyway, back to the Mets. Yeah, I get off topic here a little bit, but um, it is what it is. It's spring training, right? So uh, my love of the Simpsons. So yeah, so Soto goes yard. Good to see there. Uh, he also had another RBI, fielder's choice in that game. Alonso that game, a couple walks. So it's good to see there. The first game it was started by Clay Holmes. Yeah, there's another boo for poor Eileen. Boo Clay Holmes, but he's going to be a starting pitcher this year. All those years as a relief pitcher, closer, what have you. His first outing as a starter for the Mets, pretty good. 3 innings pitched, no hits, 3 Ks. He looked really good. He's a ground ball pitcher. He relies on that sinker. He doesn't have a great fastball, but has some juice to it. Just not a whole lot of movement. So look for sinker, slider, stuff like that, cutter. So so overall, good start to spring training for the Mets. It's not about wins or losses. It's about getting work in, basically getting work in and seeing what kind of uh, talent you have with some of the younger guys, and then if your prospects that are on the fringe of making the major league roster, how close are they? How did they improve from last year, and stuff like that? How much closer are they to making the roster? I think that's what spring training is more important for. Just, getting your work in if you're a vet without getting hurt, and then seeing your really young guys that you invited to a spring training, see how they do, and then seeing those guys that are fringe MLB players, on making the roster, see if they're able to make that leap or not. So, all right, moving on from that, and talking about uh, the veteran players going out there getting their work in and not getting hurt. There we go. The injury bug. Hey, injury bug, welcome. Ah, Lord, it's always the scariest thing, and it brings me right back to 2023 when the Mets went out there. They brought in Verlander, spent a good bit of money, and that's all people want to talk about, the amount of money the Mets spent. Could they win more than 101 games like they did in 2022, and or are they World Series bound? And then injuries to kick off that season, and just snowballed after that. So it always makes me nervous. You start to see injuries pile up when there's a lot of high expectations on your team. It makes me incredibly nervous. It's just because nobody wants to look like a fool, and as a Mets fan, people like to laugh at you, and it's not a lot of fun. It's not a lot of fun, and something like this is something that people would get a kick out of, where the Mets go out there and they spend you know quadrillion, million, gajillion dollars on Juan Soto. That's not a real number, by the way, in case you were wondering, in case you were going to look it up. Bringing back Pete Alonso and revamping the starting rotation again, re-signing Sean Manaea, blah, 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 so on and so on and so on. But you look at the payroll. That's what you look at. If you're not a fan of that team, you go look at the payroll. Oh, look at all the money, the highest payroll in the league, and and so on. And when you see them starting to crash and burn, people tend to point and laugh, because the rich, didn't get richer. They stumbled and fell flat on their face. So that's what it makes me nervous. I don't like it. So we got a comment here. Ah, our boy Eddie Prather checking in. What's up, Eddie? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. And what Eddie? Are you? I think you're a Yankees fan too. I believe, right? So here's a question, Eddie. If you are you a Braves fan? Is it Braves or Yankees? I think it might be Braves. Now that I think about it, I think you might be a Braves fan. Yep. Was it Yankees or Braves then? Is it Braves? Type in Braves as the Braves or Yankees if it's Yankees. I don't remember what it was for you. As soon as I said Yankees, I started second guessing myself, and I think it was the okay. It is the Yankees. So here we go, Eddie. Eddie, Eileen, if you're still watching, why are Yankee fans so mad about Juan Soto leaving after one season? I mean, it was something that I found I don't understand. I'm being legitimate about this. I'm being 100% legitimate because there's only 1 year. It's not like he's brought up through the system. He's there, 5 6 years, and his first chance he gets to leave, he leaves. It was 1 year. It was via trade with the Padres, I believe. So I like the attachment. I don't get. But I mean, yeah, he did. Is it because he had a great season last year? I don't know. I don't know what it is. If you guys have any idea, but I mean, there is a ton of hate on Juan Soto from Yankee fans, and I don't understand it. I mean, I understand a little bit, but the amount of it's like seems to be overboard. I don't understand it. I just curious. He said, "I'm not mad. The Yankees made a fair offer. Soto never was going to stay long term. Well, he would have if the Mets didn't counter offer again. That's it because the Yankees offer wasn't that far off from the Mets. So I mean, the Mets don't make that offer. He is there long term. I mean, it's not a bad. I mean, if I'm a free agent and if the Yankees come up and offered me, the amount of money they offered Juan Soto, I don't think there's any free agent, alive, or if that makes any sense, that would look at that and kind of scoff at it. The Yankees are still they're a primo organization. Yeah, they haven't won a World Series in a little bit, but still, I mean, they have the track record, they have the history, they have the pedigree, and I just I don't see um, the Yankees being viewed as like a bargaining chip, using the Yankees to drive up the Mets offer or anything like that. I don't know. I'm more mad that the Yanks didn't fix third base. What's wrong with third base, Eddie? Is there something wrong with third? Maybe they'll make a trade and get Alec Boehm from the Phillies. He's a little temperamental and hot and cold sometimes, but he's a third baseman. Or maybe maybe they call up the Mets, say, "Hey Mets, you got Brett Beatty sitting there. If you're not doing anything with him, send him our way." You never know. I think because Juan Soto only cares about the money, they went to the World Series and he leaves to go to the Mets for money. What sounds like you're talking down about the Mets, Eileen. The Mets were in the uh, the NLCS, against the Dodgers. They took the Dodgers to 6 games. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at either. And I do understand that point about the money because after I went over, I think one of the big things that bothered me about Soto was the demands that he had in his contract that the Mets gave him, or caved in for, however you want to look at it. When the Mets first signed him, I came on here and I broke down the parts of his contract, and I don't remember all of them now. I think I threw the notebook away that I had it all written in as well. But there's some just like nonsensical things in there, like dude, you're making 700 and was $65 million, potentially $805 million. through all these years, you have money. You don't need the Mets to pay for a suite during road games for you and your family. You don't need the Mets to pay for this, that, or the other, for security for your family. Uh, you know during the home games, or whatever it was. I don't remember all of it exactly. The Juan Soto suite at home games. You're like, you don't need the Mets to pay for that stuff. Like, I don't understand. You have the money for that stuff. It just goes beyond comprehension for me. That goes to greediness for me. That's where, to the level of greediness that goes to. But again, he produces. I don't care how greedy he is. I'm not. It's not my money that he's using to pay for the suite. I guess if I buy Met gear, or if I go to a Met game, then obviously it would be my money. I guess, but you know what I'm saying. It's not affecting me any other way. It doesn't matter to me uh, what his contract says. But doing something like this, a podcast like this, it's something I could talk about, and something I have talked about, and that's what bothers me. But as long as he goes out there and produces, I don't give a shit what he does. Yeah, I don't care what the Mets give him. I don't care what um, what stipulations that are in the contract. If he doesn't take the opt out and he opts in, that increases the contract to 805 million. I don't care. It could be $10 billion. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's an obscene amount of money that you know nobody's really worth that kind of money, but it's not my money. What the hell do I care what Steve Cohen does with his money? He wants to give it to Juan Soto. That's fine by me. I don't care. If he goes out there, produces, gets the Mets a World Series, multiple World Series, it was worth it. So, but I understand the greediness part of it. Eddie Prather says DJ sucks. That's DJ LeMahieu, I assume. And I'm not sure if he sucks or not, because I'm not a Yankee fan, but I'll take your word for it, Eddie. Exactly. He produces. He can do what he wants, basically. Yeah, and then that's what it comes down to, Eileen. Uh, he's a top, possibly top 5 player, definitely top 10 player in the league. It is what it is. Me, honestly, I'd prefer Bryce Harper over Juan Soto, but that's just me personally. And but I'm happy to have Juan Soto in our lineup, and that's me being real. I don't have to like him. I just have to like the Mets, and it's about the name on the front, not on the back. I don't care what number he has, or if he bought Brett Beatty whatever kind of vehicle that was. It was a Chevy something or other. It was a nice vehicle, and I think it cost 90 plus thousand or something like that. I don't know, for the number, for the number 22, and that's something I'll never understand either. Is why they need those numbers. Why do you have to have that number? And stuff like that. I don't know. Is it for marketing reasons? Is it for you know uh, superstitious reasons? I don't know. The one bad thing about Harper is that he no shows in the playoffs. That year they went to the World Series. He looked pretty good. He walked a lot. A couple big homers, some big hits there. I mean, Aaron Judge, no shows in the playoffs. I mean, if you look at last year, anyway, I still believe Aaron Judge to be one of the top 2 players in the league. So I hold Aaron Judge in the highest of regards. I like Aaron Judge. I think he's a great ball player, and I think he's gonna. I think one day he's gonna show out in the playoffs. He's gonna take the Yankees to the World Series, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is one of the main reasons why they win one. So, uh, what was that? 2022, the year it was 2022 against who the hell? Don't. It was Phillies played in the World Series. Was it the Astros? It was the Phillies Astros. The Astros won, but the Phillies, coming in as a wild card team, uh, just ran through everybody in the National League. And 2023, Uh, the Phillies lineup that year in the playoffs was so home run centric that they couldn't get on base. They're hitting a lot of solo homers, and that bit them in the ass, where they ended up falling short of the World Series in the NLCS. They just couldn't score enough runs against the Diamondbacks. So I do feel like Harper hasn't been bad in the playoffs without seeing stats. I don't, that's just from what I remember, and we all know about my memory on here, so it's not very good. Harper wasn't in Washington when the Nats won the World Series. No, he wasn't. I didn't say he won the World Series. He's been to a World Series with the Phillies, so I didn't say he won it. I think it was the year after Harper left is when they won it, the Nationals. So, all right. So, injury bug with the Mets. The injury bug has hit the Mets. They've hit the Mets in a significant way, and not so much Nick Madrigal's injury, but of course, last week I talked about Frankie Montas. Speaking of Yankee, and now it has bitten Sean Manaea in his Samoan ass. So Soto did get his ring. Yep, Soto got his ring. That was I think that might have been his rookie season. Everybody was making a huge deal about him, and he was something else. He absolutely was. He was a tough out, and he didn't get out very often. So, but anyway, the injury bug hitting the Mets. Nick Madrigal separated his shoulder, and it was much worse than that. I don't remember exactly what it was. Did I write it down? Yeah, fractured left shoulder. So he separated and fractured it. That puts him on a 60-day injured list, and that's tough. That's tough for Nick Madrigal. That's tough for Mets depth in their infield. And is Manaea on a 1-year deal again? No, I believe is it 2 years or the 3? I feel like it's 2. No, I think it's 3 years. I think it's 3 years. I think it's basically the same, almost the same deal that Severino got with the A's. I don't remember the money, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 years and some coin with it. But as I look it up here on my trusty dusty Samsung cellular telephone, Nick Madrigal, again, depth piece for the Mets there in the infield. Just picked him up this offseason. And, it's a tough blow. He's playing shortstop, coming in for a ball. I don't know if he was trying to catch it in the air, if it was off a bounce. I don't remember. Again, I just saw the highlight because that game was going on during my my slumber. So I didn't see it live. I did see a replay of it. And, it went down pretty hard. I think did he throw the ball before he went down? Yeah, I think he threw the ball and it was off balance and he stumbled and he fell. Led to the separated shoulder. They didn't seem too concerned about it at first, but as they got the I guess MRI results or X-ray results or what have you, it showed that it was much worse than they suspected. Manaea is on a 3-year, $75 million deal, so that's something around what Severino got. I feel like Severino with the A's got 3 years 71 or 3 years 67 or something like that. So, so tough break for Madrigal, but that does give some other players some options here. Some of the younger guys, so that leaves a roster spot open, and he was playing shortstop in that game. He's not known as a shortstop. I think he's more of a second baseman, if I remember correctly. But that does leave an opening for somebody like Luis Angel Acuna to possibly take over there as your depth piece up the middle, or even Brett Beatty. Brett Beatty's had a really nice spring so far. To start it off, a couple hits, some solid hits. I believe he hit one off the bat. I think it was 110 mile an hour the other day. Screamer. He had a home run as well. Acuna off to a little bit of a slower start, but a little bit more athleticism in the field and on the bases. And Beatty, a very good third baseman, just struggled at the plate every time he's been called up to the big leagues, and so there's that. But it does leave opportunity for a young guy to kind of grab that spot by the cojones and give her a yank, give her a twist, and see what happens. So yeah, you got those two guys. Who else? Yeah, maybe even a Jet Williams. Uh, I don't know. It's Jet Williams. I don't know if they consider him an infielder anymore. If he's an outfielder, because I know he's doing center field. He was doing uh, second base, shortstop as well. So I don't know if they would consider him an infielder or an outfielder now. But again, he's played both, so that's another option as well. But there's also a lot of people asking for Candelita back. Jose Iglesias, Mr. OMG himself. Uh, should the Mets make the call to Jose Iglesias? Me personally, I it's a tough call. I say no, but what he brought to the locker room last year and his production uh, was beyond anything that anybody could have imagined. Yeah, 100% honest with you. If you're not a Mets fan, then it's hard to explain. It really is. It feels like he was the guy that kind of brought everybody together when he was called up. He was called up. I think was it June 1st or was I no? I think it was May 28th last year, and then starting May 30th, the Mets had the best winning percentage in all of Major League Baseball from May 30th on. So so I don't know, if that's a factor or not in decision making. But if you just look, age wise and where he's at in his career, then you look at like the young guys that you have that are ready to come up and compete for a spot, through your farm system. It's kind of one of those things like, sooner or later you got to kind of bring these guys up and give them an opportunity, give them a shot. Cause they go out there, they do well. They could be used as a bargaining chip. They could be used as a good bench piece. They could be also somebody that takes over a starting spot. You just never know. So, yeah, so I don't think that Mets should make the call to Jose Iglesias. I would not be upset or angry if they did. I'd be thrilled just like any other call. I mean, last year he had 337 with the Mets, 4 homers, 26 RBI, 381 on base, 448 slug, an 830 OPS. I mean, he was awesome. Great in the field. You got some amazing stops, second base. He also plays a little bit of third base as well. So he's very versatile in the infield. So you can play him pretty much anywhere. And I just don't see them bringing him back. I don't think they really should. I think they should go to the younger guys, give them an opportunity, and move on. But yeah, it would be a lot of fun seeing after big home runs, the OMG sign in the dugout again and stuff. So it's not the same if he's not there. So I don't think the Mets will continue that tradition with him not there. Uh, but I could be wrong. I don't know. So, all right. So moving on from the Nick Madrigal situation, uh, the Young Bucks and Jose Iglesias to the next injury, which I think is much more significant. Sean Manaea, he gets injured. He goes on the injured list with an oblique strain. It's something that he said he felt coming into camp, but he thought he could work through it, and it turns out he cannot. So they checked it out, and they said it's a minor oblique strain. It's nothing major. It's nothing that's going to require uh, shots, injections, or anything like that. They said right now it's just rest. So rest, it could be, you know, 4 days, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's just rest. And, when he feels better, to get him out there and start getting him ramped up again. So he's been ruled out for opening day. So there's that. So he'll probably start the season on the IL. So there's one of those things. We probably won't see him until sometime in April. By the time he gets ramped back up, and there's only a couple games in March anyway. But then April's when your full season really kicks into gear, and that's when we'll probably end up seeing Sean Manaea, to be honest with you. Probably mid-April, somewhere around there, I would guess. If I unless he wakes up in a couple days and he's feeling good and he can start ramping it up now. Maybe we see him early April, but It's going to be sometime in April. I wouldn't expect it much later than that anyway. So with him going down, with Frantos going down, I'm not really sure on his injury update. The original report was 6 to 8 weeks, and he said it's more like 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know what that is. So I'm calling it 4 to 8 weeks. I still don't expect to see Frankie Montas back until June. So that's me. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV. I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. There it is. So with the Manaea injury, the Frankie Montas injury, it's only natural that we talk about a little bit of pitching rotation depth. So right now, nobody else gets hurt. If nobody else gets hurt, this is what we're looking at right now for our pitching rotation. Kodai Senga as your one, David Peterson as your two, Clay Holmes as your three, which, that's not, Clay Holmes could easily jump up. He looked very good his first outing. And again, that's spring training, but anyway, and then, then it's all backfilling here. Everybody else is hurt. So we're looking at, Tyler McGill, Paul Blackburn, who we picked up last season, trade deadline move, and Griffin Canning, who we picked up this past offseason, who not many people are high on. I'm not high on him. He gave up the most earned runs in the league last year. Pitched a lot of innings, though. So, there's that. It could be an innings eater, an ERA of well over 5. I think it was 5.5. I could be wrong, though. So, yeah, I'm not overly thrilled about Griffin Canning. But if the Mets go five-man rotation, especially early in the season, you're looking at Senga, Peterson, Clay Holmes, McGill, and Blackburn. If they want to go 6-man rotation, you're looking at Griffin Canning. You're looking at maybe Jose Buto. I like Max Kranick. That's somebody, I think I mentioned him last episode. I could be wrong. Maybe I didn't mention him. I could have swore I did. I'd have to go back and rewatch, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go back and rewatch myself stumble over my words and stutter and say 50 million times. I'm not going to do it. So, but Max Kranick is another option. And Justin Hangeman, that's somebody the Mets picked up last year from was it Dodgers? It does Red Sox. I think it might have been the Red Sox. There's a lot of people are high on him. Blade Tidwell, Don Hamill, a couple other young prospects who struggled last year in AAA. I seen Don Hamill pitch in Lehigh Valley against the Iron Pigs last year, and he got lit up. But who else? There was somebody else that pitched. Who was it? Lucchesi. Joey Lucchesi also pitched in that game, and he also got lit up by the Iron Pigs too. So it might have been just the Iron Pigs night, but I know Don Hamill, he struggled last year in AAA. So did Blade Tidwell. But you know what? That doesn't mean they're going to struggle this year. They'll figure it out, get it going. But those are a couple more names, possibly. I don't expect them to any of those three guys, Hangeman, Tidwell, or Hamill. I think Hangeman would be the more likely out of those three. But you also have the Mets' top pitching prospect, whose name eludes me right now. Cripes. I can't think of it. Oh my God. It's hurting my ears. I'm straining to remember. I've talked about him a bunch of times on this show. Mets' top pitching prospect. Oh, shit. I'm gonna remember, and it's gonna piss me off as I'm typing this in. No, I ain't gonna remember. I had to type it in. Gripes. What the hell's his name? You know what? Brandon Sproat. There it is. Brandon Sproat. It's funny that I'm struggling to remember that here, and I'm wasting time, your people's valuable time here. But it's kind of funny. I listen to a few other podcasts, and seeing those hosts struggle through it. It's like, yeah, I know the feeling. Trying to remember a name, and I think it was Ryan Finkelstein on the Locked On Mets podcast. I listened to him a good bit, and he was struggling to remember a name. Who? I don't know. Here we go. I'm trying to remember whose name he was trying to remember the other day. But it was kind of funny. I was laughing because I go through that every episode. Every episode I do, there's one point in the show where I just cannot remember a name, and it's a name that I've mentioned a thousand times, and it escapes me. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, Brandon Sproat's another option, and I feel like he's more likely than Tidwell or Hamill. Uh, but I don't expect any of those guys. If anything, I think it's probably going to be Griffin Canning. You look at Jose Budo potentially, but I don't expect it. And then Max Kranick, who they could be looking more at like a as a Jose Budo type. So if you have Jose Budo get stretched out and join the rotation, then I look at Max Kranick in the Jose Budo spot. If you look at Max Kranick, stretch out to join the rotation because he was a starting pitcher before, just like Jose Budo, then I'd expect Budo to stay in the bullpen role that he currently has. So just a couple things to look at there. In-house type things, possibilities. Uh, I do like McGill in the rotation. I liked McGill in the rotation even before these injuries. And I do like the potential uh, of McGill being in the bullpen as well. So it's yeah, he has an arsenal of pitches. Sometimes he just gets bitten by walks and then gives up a big hit. I mean, it's something he has to figure out, something he has to correct, and hopefully he does because he does have some good stuff. He throws the ball hard and just has I think he has like 10 pitches or something. I don't know. Maybe not that many. I'm just joking. But so another option for the Mets. Should they bring back Jose Quintana? I was I was a proponent of the Mets bringing Quintana back anyway. Last year going 10-10 with a 3.75 ERA and 170 in a third innings pitched, 1.250 WHIP, and I DFA'd him last year. I had the Mets, get rid of this guy. He's killing us. He's getting slaughtered, and he went through a really really rough stretch. But then once he got through that, he was lights out. Jose Quintana was lights out, and he pitched well in the playoffs as well. So, so I'm a Jose Quintana believer, and I do think that they should bring him back. Only if the price is right. 1 year deal, and be done with it. And even if these injuries didn't happen, I still thought they should have brought him back. I would feel better if the rotation was Sanga, Mania, uh, Montas, Peterson, Holmes, and Quintana as your six pitchers. If you're going 6-man rotation, then I am with Sanga, Mania, Peterson, Holmes, Montas, either McGill, Blackburn, or Canning. So I have more faith in Quintana than those guys, and the closest I might have faith in is it might be Tyler McGill, but I just don't think he could touch Jose Quintana. And again, like I said, I'm a big Tyler McGill fan. I like Tyler McGill. I root for Tyler McGill every year to do well, and either it's injuries or walk issues, and there's times he looks awesome. So, but yeah, I do think the Mets should bring back Jose Quintana, only if the price is right. Like I said, if it's not right, then just don't do it. So, all right. One last thing, I did not put a banner up for it, but I will talk about it. The Mets did make a trade. They picked up Alexander Canario from the Cubs. He was put on assignment by the Cubs, and the Mets picked him up. So it's a trade for cash considerations. He's 24 years old. 23 games with the Cubs last year. Hit 226, 349 on base, 340 slug. In AAA, 47 games. Hit 243, 336. Or not 47 games. It was 63 games, I think. He had 243, 336 on base, 514 slug, 18 home runs, 47 RBI. So more outfield depth, and this was brought up by I don't remember which podcast host it was. If it was CP, CPNY Sports, if it was Wardy or if it was Ryan Finkelstein. I don't remember who brought it up, but it really does make you think that does this potentially mean that the Mets are uh, adding more outfield depth because they're looking to move somebody from the outfield, through trade or whatever. That does make you think. 'Cause I know Starling Marte, whose name I could not remember last week. There's a name that I could remember last week. I'm like, I sat here. I don't know. It felt like hours, but I'm sure it was just seconds. Trying to remember Starling Marte's names. And I could see his face, his smile, and and his limp because he's always hurt. But I couldn't remember his name last week. This week, just like that, bam. I don't have it in my notes, so just remembered it. Starling Marte. All right. But his name's been thrown around in trade rumors a lot. So is that why they're bringing in Alexander Canario to add to outfield depth because they're looking to trade somebody out of the outfield? Starling Marte possibly. Uh, I don't know. I do think the Mets would benefit if they did move on from Starling Marte because it would add some relief there in the cap. But I don't know. And you wouldn't have to worry about him getting hurt. When he's in the lineup and he's healthy, he's good. But he's been out of it more than he's been in it the last couple of years. So it's not worth it anymore. To in my opinion, anyway, it's just not worth it. So it's time to move on. If they can get anybody to grab him and get rid of that contract, even if they have to pay some of it off, I think it'd be worth it in the long run. And see what they do with that spot. He's a right fielder. There was some talk about center field too, but I don't see that happening. He really struggled in right field. Again, he was hurt, double groin surgery. That'll do to you. That'll do it to you. Uh, but I think his days of patrolling center field are probably way well behind him. And also as DH, so that could open up that role. And that's where I look at the possibility of Brett Beatty making the roster this year. If you have Jesse Winker DH, and you also have Mark Fientos DH occasionally. When Winker is going against you know uh, a pitcher that he doesn't do well against, righty, lefty, whatever, what have you, whatever the splits are at that point, that's you go with you put throw Vientos there at DH, and you'll bring Beatty in at third base, and there's that. So just options, whatever. So just trying to make sense out of the trade. And it was kind of funny when it happened. I was talking to my buddy at work about it. He's a Mets fan, and he said it right away. He goes, man, I thought when they made that trade, he goes, I thought I was going to read Dylan Cease at the bottom of the scroll or the update on his phone, whatever it was that he said. I said I did too, because it was just the timing of it was crazy. Manaea goes down with the injury, then it's I don't know how long after. It felt like it was fairly soon after. It said Mets make trade, and it's like you don't see the rest of it. You have to kind of click on it on your phone to read the rest of the story. And you were expecting a pitcher, but it wasn't. It was an outfielder, another outfielder. So there was that. But hopefully everybody gets healthy. Hopefully Quintana gets back sooner rather than later. He's healthy, or not Quintana, Manaea, and is back sooner rather than later, and is back to last year's Sean Manaea. So, all right. So that's all I have for today. I know you're bummed. Got a couple more things to get through here before I let go of you guys. If you want to help me out, I appreciate it very much. Head on over to www.dubby.gg. Check out Dubby Energy Drink. It's a powdered energy drink. They come in tubs. They come in sampler packs. They also have hydration drinks, which replenish your electrolytes. If you don't want the Gatorade and all the different chemicals they have in that, check out Dubby. Like I said, they have sampler packs. If you don't want a tub, you don't want to try it out, they have a sampler package where you got a couple different flavors and a shaker, and it's good. It's good stuff, and that's what I started off with. The original product I bought was the hydration sampler package. I think it came with 3 different flavors, if I remember correctly, in a shaker, and they were good. So then I wanted to try the energy drink, so I didn't go to the sampler. Bought the tub right away. I bought the Calio Cream, which is mango orange cream flavor, and it was phenomenal. It was fantastic. It's a jitterless energy drink from coffee fruit extract. Uh, it's awesome. It doesn't have all that extra chemical crap in it, and it's good. Yeah, I think it has a great taste. A little bit of a chalky aftertaste, but they tell you that on the container. There's a little bit of a chalky aftertaste, and they said part of that is just because of the natural ingredients that they use. So the flavor that I'm currently drinking now is called Dragonade, which is dragon fruit and strawberry lemonade. So it's Dragonade, and that's my favorite right now. I really enjoy that, and I'm getting pretty low, so I'm gonna go ahead and put an order in sometime this week for the next flavor I want to try. And I can't you know speak highly of it enough. I think it's very good, and like I said, it's jitterless, and I think that's huge. So go to W Energy, www.w.gg. Use my promo code The Batcave. It's all one word, The Batcave. Get 10% off your order, and let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you like it, you didn't like it, whatever. I just want to hear what you have to say about it. So, uh, be sure to check out of the Box Sports, all of our shows on YouTube and X. Follow us at OOT Box Sports. Give us a subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a follow on X. I appreciate it very much. If you want to follow me, I'm at, oh, my YouTube is gone. I'm at the Batcave _ OOTBSE on YouTube. So if you want to check me out there, appreciate it very much. Subscribe to my channel. Also, my X is at the Batcave OOTBS. So that's my X handle, I guess you call it. I don't know. X handle. You see it right down there in the underneath my name on the. Oh, there we go, like that. What? There it is. You see it right there, and it's at the Batcave OOTBS. That's my X handle. It sounds it's Twitter. It's my Twitter handle. All right, X handle this doesn't sound right. I don't know. I don't know what it is. So yeah. So that's what I have there. That's all I have for today's show. Thank you everybody for checking it out. I appreciate it very much. Be sure to tune in Friday morning if you're a Raider fan, if you're a football fan in general, if you just like listen to me yammer on about God knows what. Tune in Friday morning, 9 a.m. Silver and Black Lair, Las Vegas Raiders edition. I'll be talking Raider football and also my thoughts on the Green Bay Packers trying to get the tush push banned, and my thoughts on that, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it as well. So be sure to check that out Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, the Silver and Black Lair, Las Vegas Raiders edition, only on Out of the Box Sports. Again, at OOT Box Sports, YouTube and X, and my YouTube channel at the Batcave _ OOTBSE. It's a mouthful. All right. Thank you, everybody. And until next time, I'll be back again next Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. And of course, like always, let's go Mets. Woo!